Hey everyone, we're back. Season 3, episode 1 of Mike Chuck, the podcast. It's Mike Sauter, my good friend. Friend is a loosely worded term. Chuck Mulligan here, bringing you another season of high school wrestling on the Mike Chuck podcast. Maybe we'll get some college wrestling in there too. I'm sure we will eventually this year. But wanted to welcome people back in for another year of talking about high school wrestling majority of the time in Nebraska.
Why'd you have to come at me so hard before you pressed record right there? That was kind of messed up.
I didn't
like that. I didn't like that. Anyway. But I mean, I gotta bust your chops a little bit. I haven't hung out with you in a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. You bailed on me going to Fargo in June.
I mean, that wasn't my. That was a little out of my control. I had started a new job and
I had to come by myself, so we couldn't do the taco challenge. We didn't have the fun stuff, so I was just doing everything.
That's my fault. I will take complete responsibility for that. We will change it this summer.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, we got time. It's not. I don't think Fargo that tournament's going anywhere anytime soon. It's a good time, so it's
a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, for me, just personally, it was good to kind of see some guys that I hadn't seen before, and Ziola making the final was kind of fun, and except for the final match, but it was just the run to it was fun, and kind of being around the guys was a good time.
Yeah, it's the connections that you build there more than anything. So when I went as a coach for the first time, I had never gone as an athlete. I wasn't a very good wrestler, but I went, and it's cool to build connections with other coaches, people from other states, being able to just learn a lot about wrestling. Those are some of my favorite memories from Fargo, is just the connections that you build. It's you really do meet some people that impact your life positively.
Yeah, it was a great time. All right, so like we normally or always do, we have guests with us. So we have special guests that we bring in basically every week to either it's coaches or athletes, and 9 times out of 10. And last year we had a really good rotation of the guys from NEWrestle with Cody and Drew, and they were gracious enough to share their knowledge with us. And this year we plan on doing very much so some of the same things. And maybe we can sneak in some other kind of special guest type stuff that we haven't done in the past when thinking college stuff when it comes to that. So we will do our best and try to do those things. But let's get right to it. We have a lot to talk about. We're going to kind of break down the biggest names to watch this year in high school wrestling, the team races where we think they are in the preseason here. And then we'll look ahead to the weekend. It's a big weekend. You have Ironman, Donnybrook. You have Ironman, and the Donnybrook, and York, and Kearney. So a couple of a handful, I guess, 4 big tournaments and a couple national ones that we want to get to. So because we have so much to talk about, we are going to try and get through this the best we can with both Drew and Cody from NEWrestle, which this will be fun because all 4 of us on this thing trying to get a word in will be a little bit hard. So again, want to thank Drew and Cody for their expertise and helping us out every week. And we'll kind of have that same rotation of, every other week, I think, if they're okay with it. I haven't even asked them yet. So right now.
Hey, Drew, give us a thumbs up if it's okay. Let's see it. Does it? Yes.
Yes.
I don't talk much, so you guys will have plenty of time to talk.
I don't know what to do with names.
I've never heard Cody say it full sentence before.
Okay, so let's just get right to it because we have a lot to cover. I'm sure we'll take breaks and make fun of each other and do the fun stuff. People come to this for the entertainment value along with the guts of talking about wrestling. So let's get to it. Let's start with the names to watch, the biggest names to watch. I think we know 2 that are squarely the biggest names in Tyson Terry and Kyler Lordson. Those are the two of the biggest names. Obviously, Cade Ziola in there too. I'm just going off of guys that are going for 4 straight titles when it comes to that. Who else am I?
We're talking about 4 straight titles. Macy Peacher.
Macy Peacher is the other one. That's right. Correct. Yeah. So there you go on the girls' side. So I just
Can we talk about real quick Kyler and the football field the other night? That hurdle was one of the coolest things I've seen. Unfortunately, it was illegal.
Didn't count. And by the way, if you saw the clip of that, someone that might be one of us 4 people got that clip and shot that video. So I'm really proud of myself. Just saying.
And Drew turned it into something really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that was HC. Yeah, he was down there.
HC had that one too, but there's a different car. Yeah, just the singular one that we put out too. So I had
that was pretty awesome and kind of a cool segue into wrestling, and the announcers during the game kept bringing up the wrestling ties and stuff. So it was cool.
Yeah, it was. He played his what off, and I could have probably he played his balls off. You can say that here, it's fine, not like live on the radio, but he was phenomenal. I even told him after the game. I went up to him and that was awesome just to watch him play that game because it was so good. So, all right. So Tyson's going for 4, right? And undefeated, something never been done before. Can he do it?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
sorry, I paused there. I didn't know that was a real question. I thought it was well, yeah, he's going to do it.
Yeah, I feel I think we all feel pretty good about it. So his biggest threat to doing it is one, staying healthy because he's coming off of that knee kind of tweak, injury, sprain stuff. Didn't really tear a lot, partial maybe stuff. Who is his biggest threat to doing it? I will ask. I have a name in my brain, but I want to hear you guys maybe say it if I'm right.
Well, your name's probably going to be the same name Zach Dominguez brings up. Correct. I'm going to stick with Logan Holtmeyer.
He's texting us about it today.
Yeah. Preston Wagner from Fremont, who we're talking about. He double All-American up at Fargo.
Which is no
big dude. Yeah. Big dude.
But also, Wagner, his highest finish so far at state is 6th. He lost to the Omaha North 215 at state last year, who would probably tell you he's not beating Tyson Terry. Obviously, Preston's improved. You can build a little hype around that match if you want, but there's other good guys like Holtmeyer and plenty of others that are going to be in the mix also.
Holtmeyer just is that he's that short, tough, stocky guy, so it's a little harder to, get your arms around him.
He's built like a D tackle.
And Bellevue West gets Bryce Luring back, who they lost last year to injury.
Right. Yep. So that's another one. So, okay. Now let's move on to Lordson and who his potentially maybe they might be wrestling each other in season and might not be when it comes to like state tournament and district stuff, but it sounds like
Bennington's got a lot of separating to do in their heavier weights, and lots of guys are bunched up there. I think when it all shakes out in the end, Kyler's going to be 157, and then Riley Johnson from Scott, state champ, Fargo All-American, will be 165. Things change.
Kyler might start at 65, right? So like that's could potentially be, or depending on, if they duel each other and whatnot, it could be that. If that actually happens, I would probably make that appointment viewing to watch that.
Well, are you going to make it to the Bennington Millard South duel?
Yeah, I'm going to try to. We'll see.
That one would be Glenn and Lauritsen round 3.
Correct. Yes. And Lauritsen beat him last year. Am I right?
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
Second time, it's closer than the first time.
I tell you what, if we're talking wrestlers to watch, I mean, Logan Glenn's obviously phenomenal. He's already won state a couple times, but man, he looked really, really good at Super 32, I thought. Like that tournament.
That is just smooth like butter.
Oh, man. Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I think he's starting at 65 and maybe going down, right?
Yeah. I think he'll go down later in the year.
Well, and he doesn't do anything super flashy. That dude's just he is on you at all times.
Yeah, he's a pretty relentless guy, I would say. Other names to watch. Who are we missing? Like
Abdi.
Abiunle, Palmer.
Everybody's favorite wrestler, Abdi Onlay.
Adonis. Honor.
Donna. Mason Peterson was one that I wanted to shout out to, because that man has been wrestling. Yeah.
He wrestled 100.
Yes, he has.
Yes.
Dude was everywhere.
And I guess I brought him up at the beginning, but Cade Ziola is moving to 215, and he looks like he has been in the weight room. Like, dude is like built.
Yeah, he's yoked.
Yes.
Here's sisters. If we're adding on to some girls,
Right.
Prado's going for her third title.
Okay. Who else?
Cody. Just coming out of the left field, and we were talking about Kane on that one.
This guy's mind is going 16 different ways. Did you teach your voice today?
Back to Cade real quick.
Yeah.
He had Jason Nolf, Penn State, multiple-time national champion collegiate level, beat Burroughs at the Olympic trials. He had Nolf in his corner at Super 32, and Nolf was wrestling, 74 kilograms, 160-some pounds, and he's wrestled 79 before also. And, I mean, we're talking he dwarfed Nolf. Like, I mean, last year he was probably walking around 190, wrestling 190. Well, now he's a full 215, and the goal is, I think, to wrestle 285 in college. So
Yeah, right.
he's a
When
big
you shake his hand,
and he's ranked number 3 at 215 in the country, and this weekend in Ironman he's got number 1. So
yeah,
huge match potentially if it happens.
yeah. That's we'll get to Ironman. Okay, are we anybody else? Oh, Tony Palmer, 215, right?
Well,
Yeah.
Tony
Yeah.
Dees.
Yeah, Tony, and Cade, they will duel each other because they're in the same conference, so they'll end up wrestling eventually,
But
right?
South Sioux City being up in A, they will not see each other at state.
Yeah, but in a conference, they will.
Yeah.
Tony Palmer might be the best all-around athlete in the state. That man's unreal with some of the things that he can do.
Guy we were just talking about a few days.
He's very the guy, and there's a lot to be determined before we start crowning best athletes of the state. Yeah. But I do see. I'm not knocking Tony at all because he's super athletic. I got to know him a little bit in front.
Cody is. I heard him.
Yeah, no. If we're gonna one more name that would kind of just pop in my head, Quinn Bailey.
Yeah, Quinn Bailey from Shadron.
I'm not athletes. He did it on the football field too.
Yeah, huge football season. So
Zion Ornelas, Tyler Harrell are going for their third as juniors, so they're on track for 4. Hudson Logis is back this year. He missed all last season with injury, so he'll be back for Blair.
That's great to see. He's a lot of fun to watch.
And okay, let's go girls. Cody, go for it.
Drew's gonna know a lot more than me, but I just Prado, Pearson sisters, Jordan Campbell, Macy Peacher, Morgan Moshman. Drew, you can go on from there.
Kaylin Harrell. Yeah. Kaylin Lyons last year for Westview. I mean, she was behind Reagan Rossiter, right? But she wrestled Reagan well every time they wrestled.
Yeah, it's like a 2-point match every time.
And she All-American in Fargo because I remember talking to her and interviewing her after that. So yeah.
What about Zaddy Grazer getting over to West Side?
Yeah. Yep.
What'd you say, Chuck?
Addie Grazer going over to West Side, and West Side seems like they're going to be pretty deep again. A couple of injuries that they're going to have to get past, but when they're healthy, I mean, on paper they look the part again.
Zoe Barber's going for number 3.
Yeah.
And she just committed to Iowa Central today.
Yep.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. Okay, now let's move to team races. In A, is it Millard South again, or do we think Prep maybe has a chance to get him, or Lincoln East, or somebody else?
They say you can't go against the champions.
What'd you say, Cody? Cody.
I'll let Chuck finish his thought.
Oh, all right.
I was saying that they say you can't bet against the champions. Those dudes have won state how many times in a row now? But this Prep team looks absolutely loaded, and they're young, and they've got kind of a chip on their shoulder. I think they wanted to get first last year. And they're young and hungry. It's gonna be really, really fun watching them this year, and it's just a group of great kids too. Really good, and that's not a knock on any other teams, but it's a great close-knit group of kids.
And Fisher will tell you, wrestling is the only sport at Creighton Prep High School that doesn't have a banner.
It is, yes.
They're chasing that.
I was there. I was there. I was actually at Prep a couple weeks ago, and I noticed that. I was like, huh. And they might be able to do it. Yeah.
Millard South, Lincoln East got some big transfers that are going to really help out. And they have some movement in their weights. Like Colton Tucker going from 75 to 215 heavyweight. Their 215 last year down to 75. Like, they got a lot of movement going on. So,
only got
Kearney's
that's your stud freshman.
Yeah, exactly. Kearney's gonna be good. Obviously, they lose probably their second biggest piece on their team because he is playing football at Kansas State, so he will not be wrestling this year. And I started laughing.
How about Sawyer Shilkey? Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's going to Kansas State, so he will not be wrestling for Kearney. But Kearney has pretty solid lineup, and they're going to be. I mean, it's
okay. Drew.
Yo.
Class B.
Class B, man. Omaha Scott. They're looking really good.
Bennington
is not actually that far behind. Scott has tremendous firepower in a lot of weights, and to me, I think the difference could be guys like Isaac Christo and Gavin Arata and Nico Rotella and Clayton Lindley's back this year. So those are some guys that, may not be number one ranked right now, but could contend for a state title. And if that happens, like, the Ziolas and Tyler Harrell and Riley Johnson, like that, they're not going to be able to be beaten if those guys all succeed. Bennington, super tough. Waverly still has a wonderful team after kind of surprising a lot of people in Omaha last year, especially after they lost to Scott at state duels. So Scott's probably got a chip on their shoulder, and there's some good competition to boot. York is also kind of in the thick of it too. They got a deep team.
What about C and D?
Class C is kind of going to be the Battle Creek show, I think.
Yeah.
They're going to probably have, 10, 11 medal contenders. Minden's a good bet to finish highly in Class C. Class D, in my opinion, might be the most exciting team race out of them all because you have Aquinas, who's won it 3 years in a row. The last two have been in D, and then they won C the year before that. But this year is going to be like Plainview, Shelby Rising City, Burwell, Sutherland. It's not clear yet as to who's going to win D. We'll just say that.
SRC or Shelby Rising City has last name Cousins. Yeah, Verbcuz. Yep, that's it.
And then Elijah Fiala for them as well.
Yeah,
tough.
Well, and they have oh geez, I'm gonna the name's going to escape me. They have a smaller weight kid who was injured. He got third 2 years ago and then was injured last season. And so presumably Kraft Cup. I think he'll be back. So if he's back, then
yeah, they also had Logan Lindsley at 44. That's going to be pretty tough.
Yeah. Chuck, girls side, who do you think? I mean, obviously you're going to go with your brother's team of West Side, but who else in A on the girls side?
I mean, Grand Island just has a million girls out.
They don't have a girls basketball team because their wrestling team is so good.
Tall.
From a numbers standpoint, from their numbers wise, though, there's so many. I mean, so many girls out, so it's a huge deal.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I want to say West Side. My heart does, but I mean, Grand Island's going to be hungry after that. After how they finished second last year, too. I mean, they had it, and they're going to be looking to push forward. You know, you got Scott too. Scott's got some firepower there.
Norfolk.
Oh yeah,
There
What about another
was one of the
another place that's good numbers.
That first year they had a wonderful day at state, and I think they got maybe second. I mean, and they're going to be deep because they just have a lot of support for girls wrestling in Norfolk. So watch out for them. South Sioux City will do their thing again. They'll probably be top 5, top 10. Omaha North has some good girls, some highly ranked girls coming in. So there you go.
All right. So we got through names to watch. Let's get to kind of
Class B girls too.
I forgot about that first year for them. So UTAN, right?
Yeah, first year for 2 classes.
UTAN B.
It's gonna be cool for Class B girls, you know, because you're gonna have like the top end girls just like you do in any class, but there's gonna be names that we didn't know last year that are gonna get a medal, and that could kind of sway things in a big direction. You know, UTAN is right now the favorite. They have 3 girls on their team who have won state. They have some sophomores who are quite talented. They have a transfer from Wahoo who should probably get a medal, if not a state championship, in Addie Darling. And then you have teams like Pierce who are going to have a full room full of kids times 2. And their depth, you know, Iron sharpens iron. They're going to have depth. Like dual wise, they're going to be really, competitive. And if they can get some girls in the middle stand, then that's kind of like the Grand Island way, right? You have a deep room, and then you see, the cream rise to the top. So Boone Central, that's another one for B girls.
And Jackson County, I don't know if they got much beyond Prado, but
yeah, they do. There's Alejandro Reyes and Haley True.
Yeah,
I think probably 3 state medals right there. They're a top 10 team.
Yeah.
All right, am I missing anybody else before you guys yell at me again?
We're trying to be short and sweet so we can not ended forever, which is hard for me to do, guys. It's hard.
I understand. Okay.
I've already bite my tongue not trying to talk over people.
That's okay. That's all right. First time we've ever had 4 people on here. It's okay. We're getting through it. Let's move on to the weekend. So Ironman is the biggest one, and there is a lot. I mean, Cade Ziola basically showed people the way last year from Nebraska being Ironman champ. He's going back. We mentioned him already at 215 and him being ranked 3rd and potentially against the number 1 guy you can see there. What other names, I guess, are going to be going to Ironman this year? I know Riley Johnson, or I guess a handful of Scott guys are going.
Cruiser Dominguez and Adonis Bonner from Prep are going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
welcome to high school, Cruiser.
First weekend of the season. And the rest of Prep's going to Donnybrook, which is kind of a whole other wonderful tournament. But Cole Welty at 120, Ben Ziola 126, Gatlin Krepola, who we forgot to talk about earlier, 3-time state runner-up, is transferred to Scott. He'll be out there. Nico Rotella coming in to wrestle for the Huskers. He'll be there. 157, Tyler Harrell 150, Riley Johnson sounds like he's going to wrestle. He's been out for a little while and healthy enough to go out there. And I mean, Fargo All-American, kind of running on a hot streak. Lots of wrestling over the summer. So it's going to be good, man. It's like there's guys, hopefully we walk away with multiple Ironman All-Americans. Like Cruiser, yeah, he's a freshman, but he's a beast, and he could finish top 8.
He's not your typical freshman.
Right.
He's a monster.
Drew did discover there's an entry from Shadron.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So I don't know if Quinn Bailey's going, but on the Ironman track wrestling, it says Shadron, Nebraska right on there. And there's one entry.
Like,
what's that?
B.
What do you, unless there's another Shadron out there and it's the wrong Shadron entered. It happens on trips. Anyway, that'd be really cool if he was there, because I think he's going 57.
Right.
Oh, and you'd love to see the western part of the state there get represented a little bit.
Yeah, but that's speculative. No one's confirmed that at all, so it could be completely wrong. Who knows?
Or they could have just entered, like you said, something crazy. Okay, so that's Ironman. Then we mentioned the Donnybrook, where feels like a lot more people are going. Prep's going there. Who else is going there?
West Side Girls.
Yep.
I think that's it.
I think that's it, yeah, because Northwest used to go to Donnybrook, Grand Island, but I don't think they go anymore.
W West used to go as well.
Yep, and then the Scott crew, the guys that aren't going to Donnybrook are going to York.
Okay, yeah, got it. So then let's talk about York, because that seems to be the biggest in-state tournament this weekend to open the week. I mean, York and then Kearney. We'll touch on both of those before we get out of here. So let's touch on York real quick. Who's all there? What's it going to look like? Because it feels like it's going to be pretty competitive.
Yeah, it's going to be a great tournament. Waverly and York should have most of their lineups in place. That's 3 and 4 ranked teams-ish in B. Omaha Scott's ranked number 1, and they're there. But we're going to learn a lot about their guys that, again, we talked about earlier that could help them beat Bennington for a state title. Hurrdat at 113. Isaac Christo at 44. You got Clayton Lindley back in the lineup this year after missing all of last season with injury. Like, he could contend for a state title at 190. I mean, he's wrestling Cade Ziola probably every day.
Yeah.
So they've got a couple of decent freshmen too that'll get some matches in at York, since those other guys will be gone.
Yeah.
One of the Stranges, he's at Scott, and he's pretty tough.
Then you got, Beatrice will be there. Pius. Central City, who's always tough.
Yeah.
Minden will be there too, and they're probably number 2 in Class C. So you're looking at, one of the, deepest teams in Class C that is going to mix it up in there. They got some pretty darn good guys. Like,
one of Chuck's pupils will be there.
What's that?
One of Chuck's pupils will be there. Papio South. Zandon Rosenthal.
Oh,
yeah. I forget Landon's a freshman already. It's crazy how he's already a freshman, but I'll tell you what, that's a name to watch out for this year. That kid he's going to be something special.
Good thing, Chuck.
I think, what makes opening weekend so fun is there's a lot of kids that are going to put the state on notice, like whatever you want to say. So some cliche.
There'll be some names that emerge, is yeah.
I would say that's kind of
Breakout performances.
Yeah.
Drew, would you say that's kind of like, we knew who Joey Andreessen was, and then York last year, he kind of like announced he's here. Yeah, then we saw him take home a state title last year.
Yeah, and he'll be there again.
What?
Against potentially Clayton Lindley at 190. Yeah. So maybe circle that one for an opening weekend.
I mean, 175, you have 1 versus 2 in B with, Loosevelt and Johnson. So,
all right, let's move on to Kearney and what that looks like. We brought up Kearney, obviously, as a team, but like, how do we think that will shake out?
Liberty, North Missouri is coming. They're usually pretty tough. You got Klein, Texas is coming, and You have Great Bend, Kansas, along with Bellevue East, Grand Island, Kearney, Lincoln Southeast, Lincoln Southwest, North Platte, Scottsbluff, and Seward. North Platte and Scottsbluff have 2 very deep freshman classes coming in, so they're going to be pretty young. Plus, North Platte, you got Tyler Hanneborg back, returning state runner-up. Grand Island's always got a lot of talent, and I think Kearney's probably the favorite to win their home tournament. Just they're the deepest of that group, but I don't know much about Liberty or Klein, so I don't want to speculate too much. But that would be where I sit.
Hamburg and Gates from Grand Island could be a good one if they're at the same weight, and then
Hanneborg will
Vandenberg
game this weekend.
Vandenberg and Rudy Rodriguez.
These first couple of weeks are always fun too because guys aren't at their weights, and you get to see some of those. I don't want to call them dream matchups, but there's matchups you would never normally see.
The one I'm very excited for, and I was joking with Pfeiffer yesterday. If the matchup between Lathan Huntsman and Taj Wilson ends up happening, just put a cage around it. Just let them go at it for 8 minutes, 10 minutes. Who cares? Because them two are some brawlers. They bring it all the time.
There you go.
Fellas, we didn't even talk about the rule changes yet.
Oh yeah, we want to touch on some. Let's do that. Touch on some rule changes.
Well, the takedown is now going to be worth 3 points instead of 2. I actually really like all the rule changes that have come about. Out of bounds, you just need 1 point of contact in. There's no cylinder though, so it doesn't go above the line. You have to have that foot in. Was it near fall?
Yes.
Was it 2 count? 3's a 3 count. 4's 4 count.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's basically moving not more towards, but it's a little more similar to freestyle with scoring stuff a little bit.
It's incentivizing offense.
Right. Yeah. Which is something that when I wrestled, I wouldn't have done very well.
It's gonna be it's a nicely controlled match.
Yeah.
You know, like the maybe in unintended consequences is the days will go faster, matches will go faster. You know, when there's clearly a disparity in the talent level of the top seed and the 16 seed, even if they're doing the takedown and cut, it's just not going to last as long. And ultimately, it's just going to be more palatable for fans and people to watch, truthfully.
Yeah. Well, takedown to someone's back is 7 points right there.
Yeah.
Instead of 5.
Yeah, it should move things along a lot quicker. That's I mean, and it's some of those, like if Drew wrestled Chuck, it would probably be pretty quick. Drew would end.
I don't want to tear my knee again.
38 seconds.
Yeah,
it's the right.
And hopefully more time for between session beverages at the state tournament.
Oh, that's what you need. Yeah.
Our 5-day state tournament starting.
Yeah, 5-day state tournament. The girls are on their own stage, basically, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
something that. Go ahead. Sorry. No. Go ahead.
So the girls' tournament's going to start basically Tuesday afternoon, and then they'll run back around to the semifinals on Wednesday, and then the state finals are actually going to be Wednesday evening, which is kind of cool. You know, the state finals have always been Saturday afternoon, so kind of extra element having it at night. And I mean, only 2 mats instead of 4, so it'll be a cool event, and the coverage of the tournament might actually be a little easier covering 2 classes as opposed to 4, or 5 like it was last year.
You mean there won't be
Drew, I believe you told me for boys they're cutting it down to 8 mats, so there'll be meal room. So that'll be very nice.
So you're saying there won't be like a billion grandmas and moms with cameras that are media people on the floor?
I can't.
Oh boy, we found the sensitive spot.
Oh no, it's not a sensitive spot. It's just
Kind of true. So
Very true.
It's kind of true. Yeah. That's okay though. I mean, do what you got to do. I guess just get out of the way. Uh, all right. So we covered a lot of ground in a short period of time and talked over each other quite a bit. So we're probably never going to do 4 people again because that was too much.
yeah,
It's Cody's fault.
it's always my fault.
I think he's
Hey, there was 24 brand new officials yesterday at the Miller North tournament for youth. Coaches, let's do what we can to keep those referees out. We need as many good young referees as possible. It's a point of emphasis for me this year to try to make sure I'm encouraging those guys. And, when I'm coaching, probably not be as big of a jerk.
I thought you were going to say it was a point of emphasis for you to start reffing, Chot.
Oh, no, not again. I refereed for a while. I'm good.
You can get soldered as a ref.
0 chance. Yeah. I've always said you couldn't pay me enough to ref because I know that I can't not hear what is being yelled at me. So if I was a ref, I'd be kicking people out left and right. There's no way.
Move over to the side, Chrome Dome.
Wow. Okay. All right.
It is really shiny tonight. That's like the first time
Looks good. Looks good.
Yeah, the lights I have, you mean, in the background looks
No,
pretty cool.
click your head. Like, is that a fresh shave or?
No, it looks very,
It's very, very smooth looking.
yeah, smooth, not shiny. There's a difference, but don't worry.
You boys got any bold predictions for the season?
Man, no, I don't think I want to go.
I'm not going to say any because somebody always gets angry with me whenever I make a bold prediction. So I'm sitting this one out. It's a setup.
It is a setup. Do you have one, Drew? Do you have a bold prediction? Would you like to be on?
Maybe it might not be a bold prediction, but if Westside doesn't get healthy, then I think Grand Island will win the A girls.
Super Bowl.
I 100% agree.
Yeah.
And, that's more related to injury more than anything, but
Not sure that was kind of bold.
I have one, but I don't want to get made fun of by Chuck.
Well, I'm going to make fun of you regardless. So
North Platte will finish top 5 in Class A. They got a lot of good freshmen, plus a lot of good returning talent, plus a couple guys coming back who were not able to wrestle last year due to injury.
Okay. I'm comfortable. I don't mind that. I don't mind.
I'm not going to make fun of you for that one. I'm going to make fun of you for other things, but that's a good one.
I'm gonna have a bold prediction, I guess, and I'm gonna say that the people that not everyone going for a 4th title will win 4.
Somebody's going to get beat for their 4th.
Yeah, I don't know who, but it will be. I don't have a. This is just a weird gut feeling I have sitting here right now.
Can I add something to the York invite?
Yeah.
We're streaming it.
Sure. Yeah. York invite. NEWrestle has the York invite. They're streaming it. So,
Girls and boys, right, Drew? I believe.
yeah, they have the girls tournament Friday and boys on Saturday. I think there's 20 teams in the girls tournament.
So, yeah, you can still find NEWrestle on Rockfin, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yep.
Yeah. You can still find them. Maybe not everybody, but you can still find them.
We're not leaving.
Hey, take me a second.
Help us see. I'll add this on. You mentioned maybe getting into college. Did you want to talk about the Huskers heading out to Vegas?
Yeah. They've had a great start actually to the season. So yes, let's do that. They're going to Vegas.
Yeah, man, that Cliff Keen tournament is crazy. At Antrell's weight at 157, I think there's 11 of the top 20 in the country.
Yeah.
How about
How awesome is it to see Antrell, though? It's just awesome. I mean, that kid's been through so much, and he's a hometown kid. It's just you love to see him be successful, and he's just such a great young guy to talk to.
And as crazy as this is to say, because he's a returning All-American, physically he looks better at 57.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a natural weight for him.
Yeah.
He's had a great start to the year too. I mean, he really has. So
Trumbull, Isaac Trumbull will be down there too.
yeah, Trumbull. Yeah.
Oh.
What'd you say about Reed?
You want to talk about someone that looks huge is Trumbull.
Yeah.
Yeah, bulked up.
He'll get some revenge because Virginia Tech's down there.
Ooh, yeah, that'll be a nice little match. The potential matchup.
Yeah, potentially.
How's what's the dude? This is totally off the subject, but how's the Minnesota guy? Like, how did that happen? How can he come back?
He had an Olympic red shirt and his regular red. He still had his regular red shirt left to use still, because he never used that because he had an Olympic red shirt and then
I believe he technically had 2 Olympic red shirts.
yeah, the one that he earned and then the one for the upcoming Olympics. Not the upcoming ones now, but yeah.
Because of COVID, the other Olympics got pushed back a year.
Yeah.
I mean, he signed I mean, he was in a training camp with the Buffalo Bills and the NFL. Like, Alex is like, so sad.
It's been pretty polarizing. Like, not
Yeah.
in on it, which
Yeah, I'm kind of out on it, to be honest. Like, I think
it's great for the sport. It just gets more eyes on the sport.
yeah, I get that part, but I also think, like, dude, you literally were in NFL training camp. Like, how is this okay?
Baseball players do it all the time. They go back and play college football.
Yeah,
2 different sports.
Heck, who's that one kid that just went to Arkansas?
Brandon Whedon did it.
yeah, that's okay. That's now that you bring that up, that's a fair argument. I won't argue, but like, I still am kind of whatever. Like, move on. Also, I wanted to kind of see maybe Isaac Trumbull have a chance to win a national championship because that would have been cool.
Dude, sorry, Isaac came back.
Dude, 285 in college this year is nuts because that Wyatt Hendrickson's at Oklahoma State. The Penn State kid, Kirkley. Like, he's really, really, really good. That Bastida from Iowa State is really, like, that's just a tough weight. Tough sledding at nationals.
Don't forget about Colton Schultz. You know?
Well, yeah. Trumbull's lost to Schultz this year. He got cut. Yeah. I mean, that's what happens with those Greco guys.
Yeah, that's all right.
Colton's a lot of weight to move.
Yeah, he gets you on your back. You're not getting off your back.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's find time to not have the 4 of us on here next week, and maybe just 3 of us next week.
Yeah, you'll definitely probably want to talk to Drew on next week because next week's CB Classic will be CB Classic.
Next week.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Well, you won't be. Where are you gonna be?
Wife's Christmas party for work.
Oh wow.
He thumbs down on this one.
So I'll be there during the day. Won't be there during the night.
Yeah.
It's weird because the high school schedule, like, everything's back almost a week now because they flips their schedule. So
yeah, everything moved by a week. It's
well, that's why Ironman is now this weekend instead of week 2. Always coincided with the CB.
Yes, I believe Scott's not at CB Classic anymore, right? Because it was supposed to be same weekend as Ironman.
Well, I think the Scott thing kind of comes down to their schedule points, why they're not able the CB Classic.
Okay.
Because you have to use what you'd have to use 2 different tournament points for taking a varsity team to York and a varsity team to Ironman, correct?
Yeah, because if you take more than 5, I believe it's considered a team event.
correct. So I think that's correct. All right, boys. Well, here's the wrestling season. We're here. We are very much so in the midst of it, and we'll do our best to break everything down the best we can on this here podcast. But again, NEWrestle, which is on Rofkin still, you can find all of their work there. So if you need more of that, find the guys at NEWrestle and all the social medias on NEWrestle too, for some pretty good video stuff and some content there. So yeah, thanks for joining this week, fellas. We will talk to you soon.
A Hurrdat Sports Network production.